We got a great show for you today. We have a feedback story. This one's interesting, and it doesn't happen very often where eBay does the right thing, and they did, well, I shouldn't say that. They often do the right thing. We just don't focus on the right thing, I suppose. We've got a few sales in here because it's an early packing day for sure, just to get ready for our Sunday evening. We don't have to pack so much out there. Have a Homeschool Hustler store sale. I don't think we have a Blue Ridge Mama sale today. Reagan's going to join us for a bit as well. Have a couple of really interesting clothing pieces that sold, I think, for a really nice profit as far as clothing goes. So all in all, even though we're shipping out just a few things today, get ahead of the game, I'd still say it's a pretty good day. Pretty nice little profit for the beginning of a weekend, even though you're watching this at the end of a weekend. And I'm going to answer at least 2 viewer questions today. I think one about shipping, free shipping, and then one about returns, if you offer free returns or not. So without further ado, thanks for joining us, and let's get to work. Hello everybody, welcome back to Commonwealth Flipper. My name is Kevin and we are in the Commonwealth cabin. As I said before, we had a pretty good day of interesting sales, even though we've just picked out a handful to show you today because we're getting ahead of the game. So let's take a look. I listed this one the other day and it did not take long to sell. It reminded me, when I saw this, I had a tracksuit. It was a Dolphin brand, D-O-L-F-I-N, and I remembered that Dolphin was the brand name that used to make the Hooters Girls stuff. These little Hooter Girls shirts. And I knew I had one of these in my death pile, so I went and looked for it. Size medium, made in the USA here, Clearwater, Florida. Delightfully tacky, yet unrefined. And I went and found it, and I'm like, I'm gonna list this thing. Didn't know how much to list it for, and I saw a few comps out there, and I thought, 30 bucks plus shipping sounds good. It's gonna be first class for sure. A pretty skimpy outfit's pretty light. At any rate, it sold pretty quick, 30 bucks plus shipping for that. So if you see old Hooters stuff and your wife lets you pick it up, or if you are a wife, unless you want to, I better shut up. All right, 30 bucks plus shipping. Speaking of interesting clothing sales here, and I don't even know what this thing's called. I think my wife listed it as a poncho, and it has a hat to go with it, 70s. Homemade, I think, 70s stuff. How about that thing? That's pretty cool. This sold for 34 plus shipping? Nope, $34.95 plus shipping, and this one is going to go out. This one came from the Sunny Shares sale, a little consignment sale we did a long time ago. I haven't sold any of this in a long time, but that's pretty good right there. I'll take it for sure. That's interesting, right? Don't you think? Just getting bids on stuff here. Y'all are crazy. Y'all bidding way too much for some of this stuff. This stuff that's your generosity never ceases to amaze me. Here you go. Rosetta Stone. I picked this up at a sale for $5. You may remember it. I can't remember the name of it, but you may remember me picking it up on the Commonwealth Picker channel. And people are like, Vero, don't list that. Don't. I know. But sometimes when you get stuff like this, you find other outlets. I know Beachbody stuff I often put on Mercari. Although you can sell it on eBay if it's the real deal, you know. But I don't even get into that stuff. Rosetta Stone is one of the toughest for sure. More bids. And I listed this on Facebook Marketplace. And it's my first one I've ever listed on Marketplace that I'm going to ship out. I don't really want to get into it yet over there at Facebook Marketplace, but I want to be used to it. And I want to know the system, and I want to have my foot in the door. Because you always got to kind of hedge your bets a little bit. You just never know what's going to happen in reselling. And it's good to at least have an understanding of a bunch of different platforms. I know a lot of people don't want to stress themselves out with having to sell on 6 platforms. And I actually don't suggest doing that. A lot of you old-time resellers out there, you slowly learn. Let me know in the comments if you list on multiple platforms and what you think of it. I list on multiple platforms, but I just have a couple of things listed in particular items, like vintage 80s, 90s clothes or hats I'll usually put on Depop. My wife usually lists clothes on Mercari. She doesn't list too much on Poshmark anymore. If I'm listing on Mercari, it's usually going to be something that is Beachbody related or something like that. Sometimes video games go well over there, but I have very few listings over there on Mercari. Only have a couple of listings on Facebook, and I don't plan to do too many more than that. All right, it's not often that I come in here and praise eBay, but there's a guy I got to praise on eBay. I called up eBay about a negative feedback, and this has happened a few times lately. I've got some negative feedbacks that were fairly clear-cut cases, like what in the world's going on? This one wasn't quite as clear-cut, but I had a feeling they were going to side with me. Just a matter of going through the hassle and jumping through all the hoops sometimes. And lately I have not been going to eBay for business on Facebook. I haven't been doing that. I've just been calling up eBay, and they've been picking up the phone. So they pick up the phone. I don't have to wait around. It's like 2-minute wait time, maybe not even that much. I think it was 2 minutes, but they picked it up in like no time flat. Got to talk to a human being, and I just told them what the problem was, gave my name, you know. They found it like within seconds. And I'm like, hey, this person says I never shipped the item. It never showed up. I did ship the item. Here's the tracking numbers for the item. The item showed up. It got to their parcel locker is what it said. Nobody picked it up. They tried to re-deliver it multiple times. Then the person leaves feedback saying, hey, you probably remember me talking about this item. It was a hat. And I sent a message. I'm like, what's the deal? This thing shows back up at my house. No communication. Just get the negative feedback. I'm like, holy moly. So try to communicate. No communication. Call up eBay. They're like, hey, no problem. It showed up. You did your part. We're going to take it off. And it was gone. The whole process took like maybe 4 minutes. It was really nice. They were really kind. And so, yeah, eBay screws up a lot. And we always focus on that part of it. But sometimes they do the right thing and they do it quickly and they do it right. And this was one of those times. Sold a Carpenter's album. Look at this. I didn't cheat, I swear. That Carpenter's album, that was from yesterday when I pulled, what I pulled yesterday? The Blue Ridge Rangers out of there, or 2 days ago. And so that's where it was. So that's the Carpenters. They're Downey, California. I think that's actually their family home. And that just reminds me of my mom and dad, actually, from California. But, you know, that era, I suppose. My mom listened to the Carpenters quite a bit and had 8 tracks growing up. And I remember listening to some in the car and all that stuff. So, at any rate, that one's pretty cool. I still listen to the Carpenters from time to time. And a viewer bought this one. Sandy, I think your name was. Let me go read the comment. All right, long-time viewer, first-time buyer, late at night and couldn't sleep, so decided to watch. Does it give the time here? Yeah, it's 10:30. 10:30, I think you bought this thing. Late at night and couldn't sleep, so decided to watch pickers on YouTube. Pickers meaning, I assume, like a bunch of different pickers. I heard you talking about finding a Reba record, and then you said the Carpenter, so I opened up your store and bought it immediately. Thanks for all the great tips. Newly retired and about to sell half the items in my house on eBay just for fun. Just for fun, or just for fun and a little bit of money. Keep us updated, Sandy, on how it's going, and we'll get that thing ready for you. Thanks so much. We're going to do one more in here really quick, and then I think one more inside, and that's all we're going to do. Oh, except Returner told me he did a video, so we're going to get that on here too. All right, this one I just put in here. Just put in here yesterday, listed it. It came from that garage sale bundles. Put them together, great deal or something. That video I was talking about the other day, the one that has the most views for our picker channel. And this was like a throw-in. I think I got, was this the one I took the marker off of? I think it was, although I'm not positive. We paid, I think, $1 for it. Sold for $14.95 plus shipping. I considered keeping it. I don't know what the size is. Because layered socks, chill out, windproof. I don't know, y'all. I'm used to this kind of weather. Right? That's where I grew up. And then I come out here to Virginia in the cold, and I still can't deal with it really well.
Hey guys, this is Homeschool Hustler Turner here, and we've got a Homeschool Hustler sale. Let's go get it. It's these McDonald's cassette tapes, and they sold for $10 plus shipping. Thank you, Ben. And if you see, it's a Mando picture. I drew it for Dad. I watched a video and I drew it for Dad. Bye.
I wanted to show you this really quick. I got these in the other day. I had mentioned them up here. Shed Juice. Put a link to them. And some people's like, hey, those are the as seen on TV. But I wouldn't know because I don't watch too much TV. At any rate, these things are cool. You just take the bulb out that's up there. And then you put this thing in there. And they give off better light. Especially picture taking light and video light. I love it. And I'm going to put one in the eBay cave too. And there's my old rickety wooden ladder I'm going to put it up with. I only have one in here. All this history. It's so hard to not talk about the Rosetta Stone. I'll tell you what, 30 seconds I'm going to talk about it. Freedom from Want. Classic Americana right here for sure. Classic. Love this one. Absolutely love it. I need to keep one for myself. I did keep the boy and the girl out there fishing with the dog. I love that one too. So anyway, this one's just really cool. Love it. And it's sold for $10 plus shipping for this one. If you remember, we bought like 100 and something of these things for $3. And so one sale gets us a profit. We've already sold probably 8 or 9 already. And it may take a long time to sell the others off, but man, I store them right up here. Where are they at? Right here, you can't see them. A little shelf up there, and you know, they can stay there for years because I'm gonna make, I don't know, a few $100s off of these things, maybe more, I guess, over time. And they take up no space. That's awesome. All right, 30 seconds time me, Rosetta Stone. So love this. It's great when there's something modern with this name because then I can apply it to history and teach my kids 2 eras of history. Actually 3 technically. So people don't realize it, but what the Rosetta Stone is essentially, it's got 3 different translations of the same exact script. So it's a code, if you will. We didn't know how to read ancient hieroglyphics, the Demotic hieroglyphics or the ancient hieroglyphics. Didn't know how to read it. But we did know how to read ancient Greek, so it's got the same story in those 3 scripts. So they use the Greek to translate the other scripts, and it decodes ancient hieroglyphics, which opened up well, not Pandora's box. It opened up a whole new outlet in Egyptology to decipher and figure out all those things. It was created in the Hellenistic era when the Greeks controlled, it was the Ptolemaic dynasty, the Greeks controlled Egypt. People don't often realize it, like Cleopatra, you know, we think of her as Egyptian. She was Greek. Alexander the Great conquered the world, and his descendants, the descendants of his generals, ruled over it as Greeks until the Romans took over. When the Romans took over is when that stone got misplaced, misused, taken out of a temple, whatever it was done, and used as building material for some temple, or for some fort somewhere for the Romans. And then when Napoleon comes down, late 18th century, very late 18th century, I think, maybe 1799, in the invasions of Egypt, he fancied himself as an emperor, right? He fancied himself as Alexander the Great or Julius or whoever, and Mark Antony, conquering Egypt because it was a jewel in his crown. Well, of course, they discover that thing. It becomes, you know, major stuff. Of course, the British come down and do what the British do, which is defeat the French and take it back to the British Museum where it still is to this day. So, all right, that was more than 30 seconds. I apologize. But thank you so much for putting up with me. Thanks for spending today with me, and we'll see you next time. Reagan has a bunch of sales today out of the CommonwealthPicker.com store. Actually, we have bunches. We're 25 behind. We just decided we'd do, how many do we do today?
10.
10
so
today.
Now we're at 15.
So, okay. So we're getting caught up, y'all. All right, what do you got for us? Reagan's, by the way, been doing all this all day here. Well, not all day.
Yeah.
But she's been writing it all down, and well, I'll shut up. You take it over.
Van got an Inaman shirt and mug and food pantry.
Oh, yeah. Oh, there you go. There's the
Pantry.
message. So
Yeah.
I've been talking to Van a little bit, and he's been sharing a little family history with us, and they're in Chicago, and his family's done some amazing work, and maybe we will talk about it on a future episode. But thank you, Van, and thank you for the support. We appreciate it, and it's awesome what your family has done.
Chris got a gray CWP shirt, and he wanted a lot of mini stickers. John got an Inamug. Ted got an Inaman shirt. Monica, she's got a lot. A flipper sticker, one Inaman shirt, 2 Inaman stickers, and 1 Inaman mug.
So she got all 3 different types of stickers?
She didn't get the Commonwealth Picker. She got
The
3,
flipper
yeah.
and the, okay.
And then she ordered a separate order, a gray CWP shirt, another flipper sticker, and another Inaman sticker. Then Jeremy got an Inaman shirt, and he is the Southern WV Picker.
Southern West Virginia Picker. That's right. He's bought from us before, Jeremy. Thank you.
Yes. And then Jason got a CWP and Inaman sticker. Cody got an Inaman sticker and Inaman shirt. And Teresa got an Inaman shirt, and she got 2.
Awesome. We're selling. And somebody bought one of these too. We didn't ship one of those out today, though, did we?
No.
Okay. And we have been doing, I'll put this on the next one, but we have been doing these. People have been asking about these. Yeah. We're just going to auction them off one at a time till they're gone, I guess. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway,
thank you, Reagan, for your help today. Or maybe you should thank me for my help because I helped you. What do you think? Awesome. Thank you, baby.
Bye. And don't forget to get your stickers at CommonwealthPicker.com.
All right, every once in a while you get something really cool. Texas Cherry Picker, or I think AKA Texas Thrift King. What a great gift. This is unbelievable. Thank you so much. This is a vintage Virginia Beach tee. I love it. And a vintage Matchbox car with the license plate there. I don't know if we'll be able to fit that on there or not, but I think we have one more spot. There we go, right there. That might go right there if we can get a small enough one to put it on there. Some sweet looking plates that we'll have some space for. I love this one here. I love this one here as well. It's really cool. We still have some spots back here. You know, this whole back area right here, we still have some spots, except for down there. Have a few here, so I guess we got some up there too. So a few cool places like that. We'll put some, and I really love that. I just love those right there for sure, like that Kentucky one. But this is cool. So revised code, the Commonwealth of Virginia. And I believe this is an 1803 edition, which is unreal. Absolutely unreal. So that is going to go to my classroom for a while. And then maybe somewhere else. Maybe in here. I don't know. I'm thinking about making an office inside and using that for some Q&A videos and stuff like that somewhere down the road. But man, so kind of you. So generous of you. And I really do appreciate it. I think you have a channel, or you used to post. I'll look it up and post it up here for sure. So Lance, I believe your name is. So thank you very, very much. Hey, I have a question here from, I don't know who this is from, Riley. Thank you, Riley, for the question. If you are a new eBay seller, should you offer free returns or should you put no returns? Thank you. All right, so here's the deal. And I know a lot of you don't like to hear this, and a lot of you don't agree with me, and that's fine. You might be right. I would say a new eBay reseller always should, 99% of the time, should put free returns. So some people look at the seller, they look at the feedback, they look at how many items the person has sold, and if you have very little feedback and you have very few items that you have sold, they might, you know, all things being equal, take the person who sold more, has better feedback, whatever, more feedback. And so one other thing, you know, no returns on a new sell, you know, I don't know. So you're going to limit your audience here of buyers, I think, unless you do. I think I would say yes. Plus it keeps you accountable and makes you, if anything, overpack and kind of get used to the whole system so you don't have any bad things happen down the road. Now, there are some items that you should not offer free returns on regardless. Just not a good idea to do that, and I occasionally don't offer free returns on some things as well, especially things that I haven't fully tested that are big and whatever. I'm like, hey, roll the dice on this. You might get a great deal. It's a cheaper price. I'm not giving you free returns if it doesn't work. Sorry. So, and I will say this also, you're going to end up, if the buyer says not as described, you're going to end up taking it back regardless, unless it's listed as is, no returns, sometimes anyway. So let me know, even if you disagree with me out there, put your comments down there and help Riley out. So thank you, appreciate it. Here's a question from Jason. He says, you may have answered this in the past on a prior video, but for low-priced items that sell with free shipping, such as game pieces, small parts, for example, how do you ship those? For example, sometimes I sell patches and other smalls for $4 to $5, and I can't really justify the cost of first-class shipping on eBay with tracking. Typically send it in a regular mail envelope, but obviously concerned a buyer could easily say they never received the item. So, all right, well, first of all, you know, I sell these stickers. You know, when we do that with Reagan, we send those in first-class envelopes and we put a stamp on them, but that's not through eBay. I personally don't sell anything on eBay and ship it through a first-class stamp. I know a lot of people do. I know a lot of people have a special store. Like I have two, well, I have one store, the kids have one store, but it's really, they're both under my name, right? It's all the same thing. I would have, say, a second store where I would sell just those type of things where you'd ship them off. Now, a lot of folks do that. Some folks will mix in. They don't sell a lot of those items, so they'll mix one in, and occasionally they'll do that. So I think your best bet is, if you want to have a top-rated store, is to not ever do that. Never. That's my opinion. Some people would disagree, but I think that's the best bet. I would say open up another account and do it separately, and you can ship them off that way. Obviously on low-cost items, because you're not going to want to ship something that's $50 in an envelope with no tracking, because, you know, where do you go from there, right? So anyway, that's my best answer for you, is maybe it's not worth selling those one-offs unless you're going to have a different account and do it that way. So there you go. If somebody else has a better answer for them, leave it in the comments, and a lot of people have much more experience doing that. Now, I know eBay has the standard envelope, which they are beginning to push through, kind of trial, I hope, as something for sports cards, or not just sports cards, but any kind of cards, I think anyways, and under $20. And I'm hoping that that works really well, and that can then go to other categories as well, like you talked about. So anyway, there you go. Hopefully that answers your question. Appreciate it.
Well, if I'm in Virginia just to go and run the trails, found myself missing you more times than I can count. Rolling on just like a stone, nobody could tell me where the boundaries in my life stop and I could be free. Nobody could tell me. Fancy bars while living in cars ain't nothing too complex. Everywhere that you go's a little further to the next, but you keep on rolling, just like the breeze. Sit up and down the coast, you know that nothing stays the same. If you keep looking at the past, then you'll never change. Here tomorrow, gone the next, just letting life pass by. You keep telling yourself you're only here for the ride.